Hello everyone, Stepan here, playing a 2495. Okay, let's not mess about. My opponent beat me once. If you can see here, your score 0-1. If you've seen my last game, then you'll know how I felt. If you haven't seen it, you should see it for context. This is game 15. And okay, is queen b3 scary? So if we go bishop f5, is queen b3 scary? Bishop f5, queen b3, queen c8, knight e5. I don't like that. Still, I'm gonna play it because that's the only way to punish my opponent for not playing bishop d3. I'll go queen c8 and try to play a normal exchange Caro-Kann, but with my bishop on f5. Okay, my opponent's playing very quickly. Let's go bishop g4. And maybe bishop g6 is okay. I mean, my opponent's gonna get my bishop either way, so we may as well provoke some weaknesses. I don't know why the knight is on h4 if you don't win my bishop. I have given away this diagonal, but I think it's more important that the knight is offside. If bishop d3, bishop e7, castles, castles. Okay, he wants the bishop desperately. So when they play h3, g4, bishop g6, knight takes, pawn takes, there is always this tempo with knight takes g4 because the rook is hanging. That's why it's an improvement. Not only has my opponent moved his kingside pawns, making kingside castles less safe, but it's also because there's a tempo to be gained. So for example, if g4, bishop g6, knight g6, hg6, bishop d3, I play knight g4. So my opponent, my opponent isn't forced to play bishop e2, but the pawn has to be defended. Finally slowing down. Let's equalize against this guy. Come on. Yeah, understand. So, to give you a bit of context about yesterday's video, I really was so upset that Lucia and I have gone for a walk, and I calmed down after that. It took me a while. I was really upset, because losing that way is hard for me. I don't know, I get emotional. I know I shouldn't. I know playing objectively best moves is the way to go, but still, it's hard. This is important to me. I'm trying to get to 2500, and I know it's not FIDE rated or anything, but still, I've set a goal for myself to make training exciting, and if I'm not excited and if I don't care, then why do it? Now I'm excited, therefore I care. So when I get destroyed like that, I get upset. When I win, I'm happy. It's very hard for me to get into, to make training as important as actual games. So when I manage that, I think that's a success. When you get a dopamine rush from training, that has to be good. And by the way, I've been analyzing the game from yesterday's video over the board for about 5 hours, and I've found many opportunities. So I actually took that game seriously and sat down, and instead of whining and complaining and being mad, I sat down and figured things out. I was never significantly better, that's all I'm gonna say, nor did I have any winning chances. My opponent was always at least equal. Okay, let's get back to this game. Does white castle kingside? I think that's normal. Because I could be threatening to play knight e4 now. Knight e4, knight e4, bishop h4. And if the knight goes back to f3 from h4, then I'm not sure. First of all, knight d2. Okay, my opponent does commit. So do I play knight d7 now? Knight d7 is the most common way to punish this. Knight d7, knight d7, knight hf3, bishop g6. If just bishop g6, then knight g6, hg6, and g4 is still hanging, but my opponent can castle queenside. So I have two candidates, knight d7 and bishop g6. Knight d7. I'm really expecting knight hf3. Knight d7, knight hf3, bishop g6. Knight d7, knight hf3, bishop g6, bishop g6, hg6. I like that. Does my opponent have any other ideas other than knight, maybe knight g2? Knight d7, knight g2 leads to the same variation. I'm gonna play knight d7, I like that. What if my opponent plays bishop g3? Knight d7, bishop g3, bishop g6, takes. Why is my knight on d7? That's a good question. So for the moment, queenside castling has been prevented. So if I go bishop g6 immediately, on knight d7 there may also be g5. I'm not sure. So bishop g6, knight g6, hg6. How does my opponent defend g4? If f3... Bishop g6, knight g6, hg6, f3, knight d7. For the moment, castle's queenside doesn't work because of knight d4. And on knight d7, I'm afraid of g5. Maybe I shouldn't be afraid of g5. g5, h6. So knight d7, bishop g3 is what worries me most. Knight d7, bishop g3, bishop g6. Or even queen d8, but then knight f3. Okay, I'm playing knight d7. I like that better than bishop g6. I'm not gonna give away my bishop for nothing. And I'm not sure my opponent can castle now, because the structure has been ruined. Oh, I didn't look at knight f5. Knight f5, ef5, hg. Okay, I have knight f6 defending d5 and f5. It's not pleasant, but it's there. Yeah, I should have looked at knight f5, because it's a forcing move, it attacks g7. Why didn't I look at knight f5? Why do I only see these moves after I play my move? Knight f5, ef5. the gh5, knight f6. Maybe h6, g6. Takes. Okay, I don't think we're in trouble after knight f5. I think my opponent should play bishop g3. Again, I have no idea where my opponent's king is gonna be. Queenside out of the question for the moment. Knight d4 hanging. Kingside, very dubious. Yeah, I'm sorry about the cars. I'm outside because everyone's asleep. I'm trying not to wake people up with my commentary. Okay, my opponent took. I'm surprised to see this. I think I'm very happy now. Because I have no idea where my opponent's king should end up. And I'm controlling e5 sufficiently. So if knight df3, bishop f6, I'm still attacking d4. So there's no queenside castles. If rook g1, bishop f6. Oh yeah, this is a very pleasant position now. I mean, what's my opponent's plan gonna be? My opponent does have the bishop pair, but I have a superior structure, I have better king safety. And it's not even clear what my opponent should play. Ideally, I would like to fix the h-pawn with h6 to prevent knight g5. Okay, I have to go bishop f6. Queenside castles and knight e5 are both out of the question. I want to go h6 to prevent bishop g5 and knight g5. And to give myself the option to go knight f6 in the future, targeting the h-pawn. So castles queenside doesn't work, knight e5 doesn't work, c4 doesn't work, castles kingside seems awful, although it may be playable, I don't know, I'm not good enough. Okay. Another important question is, what's my plan? So I wanted to go h6, but is there bishop h7 if I go rook g8? Probably. I think I'll still go h6 and see what my opponent does. I want to play against knight g5 and bishop g5. Rook g1 is a non-committal move. It's a tempo move. And h6 is pure prophylaxis. I think I want to go a6 b5 at some point. Okay, seems to be a good idea. Bishop d6 seems like a good idea, but I don't see a clear upside to this long term. So let's say a6 a4, or even let's look at knight a5. I don't want to go bishop e7 because of rook g7. So a6, a4. b6, bishop b5, queen b7, queen a4, rook c8. I'm defending everything, and on knight a5, queen a3 works. But maybe then I have knight c4. No, I should keep preventing castle's queenside. So let's go a6. If my opponent puts a rook on the e-file, I'm gonna have to be careful about queen d5. But I think I have knight a5. I wanna go knight a5, knight c4. The bishop on d6 looks nice, but for the moment it's not doing all that much. I think my opponent should play king d2, but then knight a5, knight c4 comes with tempo. So maybe king f1? Yeah, maybe king f1 is a move for rook ae1. But as long as I can keep blockading, I should be okay. Rook c1 also doesn't work because of knight d4. Okay, let's be careful. Yesterday's game, I also thought I had a good position and I lost horribly. So no subjective thinking, no exaggerating. Let's look at the position objectively. So my king is bad. My opponent's king is bad. My opponent has the bishop pair, but I have the superior structure. My plan is knight a5, knight c4. If b5 isn't prevented, yeah, it has been prevented, then b5. So let's look at knight a5. Knight a5, I'm expecting queen b4 or queen a3. If queen a3 or queen a2, I can go knight b6 and reinforce c4. If knight a5, queen b4, knight c4, bishop takes, do I take with the pawn or with the queen? I think I take with the queen to go into a superior endgame. So knight a5, queen b4, knight c4. What's my threat? I have no threat. I'm actually giving my opponent the option to castle queenside. Do I have anything else? Yeah, I should take with the pawn, because on queen takes there's queen b7. So knight a5, queen b4, knight c4, bishop c4, dc4. What did I get? I didn't get that much. So maybe I should go b6 first. b6 for queen b7 and rook c8. b6 for queen b7 and rook c8. b6, I have no idea what my opponent does, but I'm expecting king f1. Queen b7, rook ae1, queen d5 is hanging. But I can go knight a5 because my d-pawn is then defended by the queen and the knight's defended by the b-pawn. I like that. I'm gonna play b6. I don't think my knight's in trouble. I want to go queen b7, rook c8, knight a5, knight c4. If I can recapture on c4 with a rook, that's going to be superior to taking with a pawn or the queen. Now if my opponent does sack the d-pawn and castles queenside, I think I take with the knight. Okay, king f1 is a good idea. So my opponent wants to play rook e1, so I go queen b7, rook a1, knight a5, defending d5. I anticipated my opponent's move. I like king f1, that's what I would have played. Maybe it's wrong, but I couldn't see another option. And also after knight a5, I have queen c6, forcing the bishop to a3 most likely. Because if it stays on the h2b8 diagonal, my king has more squares. However, if the bishop moves to a3, then my king can safely drop to the queen side with, for example, rook c8. Okay, rook c8, threatening knight d5, knight d4 and bishop d4. Is there a threat connected to queen c2? I don't see it. My opponent wants to go b4, let's prevent that, rook c8. Okay. My opponent's attacking the a pawn, so I have to defend. I want to go knight b8, but maybe there's another option. Which knight? Which knight? I'm guessing knight db8? Knight db8? Because then my queen defends everything. Knight db8, and I'm also keeping an eye on d4. Knight db8. Now I can go queen d7 and finally evict this bishop. If knight e5, I think I go rook d8. My opponent's down to 4 minutes. I'm up on the clock. That's good. Everything else, let's stay objective. It's a hard position for both sides. Both kings are bad. Okay, so I was planning to go rook d8. However, on rook d8, there may be bishop b8. So rook d8, bishop b8, knight b8, defending. Rook d8, knight c6. And then if rook d6, then knight b8, queen b8, bishop a6 loses a pawn. I definitely cannot take on e5. On knight c6 I can play rook c6. Is there knight f7? Knight f7, queen f7, there's bishop g6 winning my queen. Knight f7, king f7, bishop g6, there is king g8, queen e6 mate. My god. Okay, knight f7 is a serious threat. Knight f7 is a serious threat. So there are two threats. Knight c6, rook c6, bishop b8, queen b8, bishop a6, as well as knight f7. How do I get out of this? I should not have gone h6. Is king d8 the only move? Is that crazy? King d8. Giving up my a-pawn to knight c6, rook c6, bishop b8, queen b8, bishop a6. Is that the only option? I don't see another option. Oh no, king d8, knight c6, I have to play queen c6. But then knight f7, my god. No, king d8 loses in a single move. Do I have to take this knight? I may have to take the knight, but I don't see how I should defend g7. I don't see a way out. Okay, I think I have to take the knight. I don't see a way to prevent knight f7. I think I'm just losing if I don't take the knight. This way I may lose a pawn. So rook g8, bishop h7 doesn't do anything. What the hell do I do? I think this is resignable. Unbelievable that everything was losing. Okay, let's mix things up. I mean, I don't know what to do, so I'm gonna try to complicate matters. I'm giving up the G7 pawn because I don't see a way to defend it. There's no way to defend it, so I may as well open things up. I had to get rid of that knight. Knight f7 was the first immediate threat. My god, I got so badly outplayed. My opponent's playing really well. Congratulations to him. Navigating this structure like a boss. I've underestimated bishop d6. Okay, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna take. I need to get my rook out of c8 so that I'm not hanging the exchange. So I'm gonna go rook d8, try to play quickly. If my opponent takes on b8, on bishop a6, at least I have queen e5. Yeah, okay, this is busted, but let's keep fighting. Okay, good move. Good move. Let's set up a threat. I want to go knight e5, bishop e5, followed by queen d3, but that doesn't work because there's bishop b8 in the end. Oh, maybe there's even bishop g6 now. Yeah, there's bishop g6. Oof. Everything works. Bishop g6 and I resign, I think. Takes my queen. I mean, maybe I can keep fighting. Oh, nice. That's even better. Yeah, I don't have knight e5 now because rook f8 is mate. Nice, nice. Is there anything here? Nope. Yeah, I'm resigning. Congratulations to my opponent. This was a very nice game. Very nice game. Very well played. Let me just see what the theory is here. So bishop f5 is correct, queen b3, queen c8, knight bd2, e6, knight h4. Bishop e4 is more common? Ah, the idea is to take with the d pawn and restrict the knight. Okay, but this is playable. Bishop e7. Knight d7 is a blunder. So I've recently found out that once you see engine variations before you turned on the engine, that means that your opponent has analyzed the game. Yeah, I should have gone bishop g6. Wow, this is +1. I don't know anything about chess. Wow! Knight a5 immediately was better. +2? +2? My god. Okay, I mean... yeah, bishop g6 did work. I saw it. So, my opponent had 0 inaccuracies, 0 mistakes, 0 blunders. Well, it's very hard to fight against that. 0 inaccuracies? I mean, all the moves were pretty natural and really nice. So, congratulations to him. But still, tough to fight against a perfectly played game. Yeah, I guess I have to learn this opening. So, I think I'll be playing out the position after g4 against Noctie to get a feeling for these types of positions, because obviously I'm not good enough at them. Wow, 0 inaccuracies. Come on, you gotta be kidding me. You have to give me a chance. And I only... you cannot see my stats, but I made 5 inaccuracies and 1 mistake. Funnily enough, 87% accuracy with 0 blunders. That seems unlikely, given how badly I was destroyed. Okay, I'm gonna be playing this game against Noctie, this position. My opponent says weird game. It wasn't a weird game, you played a perfect game. It's not weird, you just outplayed me. Okay, yeah, let's play this out. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this position. No, not that one, this one. We're gonna take the FEN. We're gonna copy that. So yeah, how did I play with 87% accuracy? I got absolutely smashed. And then we go to Noctie, we go to themes, and we're gonna create a new theme called exchange Caro-Kann no bishop d3. We're gonna add an element, we're gonna paste the FEN, knight d7 versus bishop g6. Okay, I'm gonna play black and I'm gonna set Noctie. What was my opponent's rating? 2495. I would say that's about 2100 FIDE. So I'll set it to rook 4. Save element, save theme. And let's play this out. So I'm gonna play bishop g6 instead. And let's... oh, sorry. I have to move my camera. Okay. Takes, I take with this pawn. g4 is hanging. So how do you defend g4? That was my original question. Let's see how Noctie does it. With the queen? Interesting. Alright, what's my plan? Can I go queen d7 now? There's no knight e5 and I can go bishop d6 and castle queenside. This seems promising. Bishop d6. Oh, nice. I got a blue move. Blue means excellent. Purple is the only better color. So castles queenside, g5, takes, the knight moves, that's fine. Oh, maybe I should have taken before f4, yeah. Damn. Okay, but at least now I can start putting... Wait, the rook's hanging? I can take on g4 now? Queen g4? No, not yet. But I can play... But I can play rook h4. Ooh, that's not good. Ooh, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. Why? Oh yeah, I see why. God, I'm stupid. Let's ask for a take back and let's ask for a hint. Knight f8 makes sense for f6 or knight c7 or queen c7. Ooh, that's a nice plan. Ooh, I mean, I haven't found this on my own, but this is why I train with Noctie. That's a good plan. So if I go f6, is there trouble? I don't think so. f6 takes. Is e6 weak? I have knight c7. I'm not sure. Wait, why is this a blunder now? I don't get it. I wanted to go rook d7. Why is this a blunder? Undefending d7? Okay, so let's... instead of that, let's go f6. That's a blunder too. Okay, so... Why is... Ah, I'm hanging g6. Okay, let's ask for another hint. Bishop f8? Okay, threatening to win the bishop. That makes sense. Ooh, that's a nice move. So f4 is forced? Yep. And now, what do I do? f6? I don't want to play f6. Ooh, this is a tough position. Oh, I don't like bishop f8 anymore because of g4. I mean, I guess I should take the pawn, but I don't want to take the pawn. Because I don't have g6. How the hell am I supposed to defend this? Knight e7? What do I do on rook f1? Yeah. What do I do on rook f1? Knight e7? That seems absurd. Maybe knight d6, bishop d6, queen d6, bishop check, king b8. I think I'm playing knight d6. Okay, good. Good. Oh, takes with the rook. Attacking f7. That's probably a good idea. Yeah, come on. Okay, yeah, I guess we can stop here. This seems fine. Seems definitely better than the game. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I do in positions that are tough. You can try to use Noctie too. There's a link in the description if you would like to try it out. I think it helps a lot to play out tough positions. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye bye. If you're like me and you think practicing against the engine is boring because it either crushes you or plays like an idiot, try playing against Noctie. Noctie is a human-like AI that's going to adapt to your strength, is going to play like a human, try to trick you like a human, and challenge you on your own level. The first thing you can do is, of course, assess your rating, and you can play a rating test against Noctie. Yeah, the only move is g4 and then queen f4 mate. Yeah. Good. Yes! 25-57! Come on! It's going to tell you your strength, but there are many more features. The first thing is, when you play Noctie, you get instant feedback, and all of your moves will get sort of color-coded. Noctie will immediately tell you if you made a mistake. That way you can ask Noctie to see where you went wrong. You can play games in openings you're trying to learn. So you can import any repertoire you want and play Noctie in that specific opening. Just go to repertoires. I've imported the Hillbilly when I was doing the video on the Hillbilly, but you can obviously create any repertoire. Just paste the PGN, and if you, for example, play the London system, you can play the London system against Noctie. Flashcards are an excellent tool, and I've spoken to Samuel, the owner and inventor of Noctie. He's going to make them even better. Flashcards are basically the mistakes you made in your games. Noctie is going to make you pay attention to them, and in the future they're going to be grouped according to theme, so it's going to be even easier to navigate your mistakes. One of my favorite features, if not my favorite one, and the one I use the most, is themes. So you can play Noctie in any specific position you choose. So if you go to your themes, you can see that I've made quite a few. So let's say you want to play out this position. This is a position from Spassky's game where he triangulated perfectly. If you're trying to practice something, you can create a new team, just add an FEN or a PGN and play it out against Noctie. That way, if you have an endgame you would like to practice, you don't have to find an actual human to play against, nor will you have to play against a 2800 engine or against a 500 engine human. If you would like to check Noctie out, you can follow the link in the description, and if you would like to get a 64% discount, use the code HANGING Pawns. Thank you very much for this. Thank you, Noctie, for sponsoring the video, and let's get back.